This channel's name is Hannah Reloaded, the one I'm going to show you. This channel is WYCD Wicked. That stands for What You Can Do. But Hannah Reloaded, how do I describe her? I mean, you've seen Vosh. You've seen Owen Morgan. She's a streamer. She pulls up clips. She talks about them. Why do I like her? She's clever. A clever person. It goes a long way. And I find her insights incredibly useful. I tend to look at things somewhat sideways myself. She comes from the other side, I guess. Here's Hannah Reloaded talking about conspiracy theories and arriving at a point that I think is very valuable for us to examine. And she's not looking at normal conspiracy theories. She's looking at the structure, the broad strokes. What causes these things? Why do people act this way? Why do they obsess over made-up nonsense? And she's doing it by looking at a conspiracy theory from the early 1900s.
Start off with something a little different. This is a conspiracy from... This article was written in 1905. I have to thank Broha Blast for this, because he actually gave this to me. Broha deals in antique and vintage books, among other things, but books are his speciality, and he came across in his business this McDonald's Farmer's Almanac from 1925. This is a photocopy, of course. He sold the actual one. He actually sold it before he found out what was in it, which is unfortunate. I absolutely would have bought this from him had I seen it first. 30 seconds left on the hype train. This is the 1925 Farmer's Almanac. Father made him photocopy it. Well, thank you, Mr. Blast, then. The article, though, is from 19...
Yeah, I just want to toss in. I have no idea why he was photocopying it. Oh, you know what? I bet he sold it, but before the person picked it up, he looked through it and was like, oh, this is really interesting. That's probably what happened.
1905 by J. McDonald, M.D., from Birmingham, New York. It's public domain. It was written in 1905. Not that it matters anyway. But we are going to read this. This is a flat earthers, like, opinion piece from 1905. And to be clear, McDonald's Farmer's Almanac? This is McDonald. Like, later editions had, like, astrology and stuff. It seems like this Farmer's Almanac he literally put together
Yeah, let's get to
this
it.
weird cracks. That train was saved, of course. And Alice Dieform, thanks for 1,200 years ago. This'll be that. Wasn't out early today, love Tinfoil. Well, I'm glad you got out early. Hope you have pops and stuff.
You know, I thought about suing her for taking the idea of naming Tuesday as a special day and doing a stream based around that, except for the fact that that would open me up to liability from the inventor of Taco Tuesday. So hers is Tinfoil Tuesday, just so you know. On Tuesdays, she goes over tinfoil crazies.
Sometimes they'll have them. So, let's take a look at this. This is over 100 years old, this article. The actual thing is from 1925. The article was written in 1905. So this article is over 100 years old, published in something that's almost 100 years old. So fun. Bumble Homestead says, ooh, Fireside Radio show Hannah would be fun. Let me actually bring up the camera since we're... Look at that. I'm going to read something, so we might as well go full screen. Let's see. Here's the illustration, by the way. It's that same.
We gotta get to this
declared by some, the greatest scientists of this age, that this discovery is true and will stand the test. It will easily rank as the greatest discovery that has ever been made in the annals of history. The following article is not new today. It was printed in the Inglewood Times in 1885. I was then laughed at as I was then laughed at as visionary, etc. by the public. Did visionary have an old-timey meaning that was different than now, or is he completely mischaracterizing him being mocked? Because it definitely feels like he's being mocked. You're out of bits, but here's a lot of 4 of them for $20 on eBay. Ooh, that's good to know. What years are these from? These are the later ones, so I don't know if they're quite as kooky, but still.
I'm hoping to find one line in particular that I heard her say the first time I gave this a list. If we don't get there soon, I'll just tell you what the line is. But I'd prefer to do it her perspective. I also want to hear the article.
Interesting. I claimed immense quantities of gold had settled around the Arctic Circle. Also, the Arctic claiming electricity could be obtained directly from the Earth instead of through steam and machinery. Also, the articles demonstrating that by 1900 the world would be sending messages without wires by the aid of, quote, sympathetic instruments. Also, many other wonderful predictions that have since come to pass. I assume he's trying to insinuate he predicted the radio? But kind of doubting that that's what he actually predicted. Either way. Pretty funny. He's naming all the things that he thinks he predicted, but he didn't. Cool beans. Velma, is that you? It is. Jinky.
I was gonna say. So I'll let her reveal what the conspiracy theory this person believes is. But notice how little things change. When this person is starting out, they're rattling, they're gish galloping with a bunch of, even though it's a written article, they're saying a bunch of unverifiable, frankly, claims about things that they predicted. But do you notice how it's after those things happened that they're talking about it? Did you know that I have guessed the lottery numbers correctly? In a little notebook I have here. I don't like to show it to people, but I've guessed them correctly. Every lottery, I'm talking about the traditional Michigan lottery, every lottery for the past 3 years. I'm bored with it now, in fact. So I'm probably not going to do it again. But if you want to see, someday maybe I'll show you. I've written down correctly all the lottery numbers. That's what this guy did with inventions. It sounds like Ben Shapiro writing an article to me. This sounds like the kind of thing he would do. But let's find out what kooky thing that there's no way anybody still believes. What kooky thing does this guy have a conspiracy theory about?
Got one of these too. Woo. I can actually use it. Look, I'm reading a thing. The writer not only believes the Earth to be a disk, but that the moon and all of the planets are similar disks.
It's a flat earther, ladies and gentlemen. And gender nonconforming pals, it's a flat earther.
That's an interesting one I don't see from flat earthers often. Normally, they think that the other planets are just lights or something. This guy believes in flat Earth and flat Moon and flat Mars. That's pretty interesting. Grimm's Bane, thanks for gifting 5 tier 1 subs, 88% to level 4 with 20 seconds. It's so close. Anything could save it. The hand is not red and white.
So, obviously, I enjoy Hannah Reloaded. I think her content is... it's not as easy to do this style of show with. It's not as easy to live clip out. Hence the weird setup today. But it is really easy to listen to. She breaks and talks to the audience all the time. She's charming enough that the flow is smooth and it's or rather, it's sort of an unbroken stream the entire time she's going. But I have my own show to do. So the point is, people have been dealing with these same conspiracies for a long, long time. How come? Why don't they go away? Why are they so immune to the various ways they're disproven? Well, I'll tell you why. During that stream, link is in the description, by the way, if you want to check out Hannah Reloaded. She said something which floored me because it just struck me as being so correct. She said, conspiracy theories don't exist to prove a set of facts. You'll notice that she was talking about how some flat earthers believe that the Earth is a disk and other planets are disks. Or at least they did then. Whereas now, these flat earthers of today, these punk kids, they believe that the Earth is flat and the other planets are just lights. Well, if there was a model that told people that the Earth is flat, wouldn't likely shift so much on the subject of what all the other stuff is. So why? Well, the thing she said that floored me was that they don't exist to prove a set of facts. They exist to ignore a set of facts. That's the purpose of conspiracy theory. I know it seems simple. Well, I think the exact phrase she said was conspiracy theories don't exist to supply. Oh, good Lord. Conspiracy theories don't exist to supply information. They exist to deny information the believer doesn't want to accept. Now, I happen to think we have a culture of conspiracy theories now where the believer doesn't even actually believe. They just pick information that they think would be fun to deny, and they try their best to see how long they can keep denying it. And the answer is usually forever, or at least until CPS comes by and says, if you don't get your kid vaccinated against these common things that will kill them, we'll take them away. No idea how any of that works. But the point being, throughout history, we have had people like this. And I find it interesting to view it from that perspective, that they are not trying to prove that the Earth is flat. They are trying to deny that the Earth is round. A lot of times, you will find that the folks who are in the flat Earth crowd, for example, are biblical literalists. That's not your average Christian. That is somebody who takes the Bible as translated from Greek to English literally, as passed from person to person to person down to them, and that they haven't actually fully even read their multi times translated copy, but instead have been told about it, that they take literally. The words of it literally. Which leads them to believe things like there was no evolution. There is no evolution. And the Earth is flat and only 10,000 years old, etc., etc., etc. I think when you come across somebody who believes in conspiracy theories, the way to address them, if you're trying to pull them out, is not to ask them why they believe the nonsense they believe, but rather why they don't want to believe the truth. So you don't say, why do you think the earth is flat? You say, why don't you want to believe that the earth is round? And if they turn it around on you, you say, I'm indifferent. I believe what the facts say. And I'm not bending over backwards trying to change the facts by squinting at them. Ask them why they are uncomfortable believing the truth. And I don't think you're going to change their mind, but I think you will understand them better.